Do you have an idea for a podcast but can't figure out how to produce it? I was there too. Or maybe you're already podcasting, but it's a bit too much. 12 episodes into my latest podcast has landed me at a bulletproof process that keeps things simple but doesn't sacrifice dynamics and quality. I have a co-host and we regularly interview a guest, which requires 4 cameras and at least 3 microphones. As host, I don't produce it live, so I can stay engaged with the conversation, but my edit process is super simple. If any of this intrigues you, then stay tuned. I'm sharing my simplified podcast production process in 3 segments, plus a bonus at the end. Let's dive in. The first thing in this process is to ensure we have all the camera angles and, of course, the audio capture devices, aka microphones, to be able to get it all set up. And so here is where this is where a lot of podcast projects and productions actually go to die. How do I get it all configured? I'm going to share that with you, but I first want to showcase what it looks like inside my studio. This is what it looks like. This is a top-down shot of my studio. This shot right here is a shot of my co-host. So just giving you the camera angles now. The next shot is a shot where I sit. This is the host seat. So you can see what that looks like. And then you also have the shot of the mini couch that has 2 seats for our guest. And so sometimes we have 2 mics set up there. So I actually have a total of 4 mics in the studio connected to a Rodecaster Pro. More on that later. This camera that you're seeing closest to us is the Sony ZV E10, and that is for the host. That is actually my camera. It's the camera that I look at. It's just sitting on a desk mount on the desk I'm sitting at right now. This other camera that I'm going to show here in just a second is another Sony ZV E10. Both of them have Sigma 30mm lenses on them. And again, that is the co-host's camera. And you can see what that shot looks like as I switch to it right here inside Ecamm. More on that later. Then the last shot that we have, the last camera angle, is the FX30, Sony FX30 with a 50mm lens on it. And I actually have a confidence monitor right above it. And then you can actually see what that shot looks like. And we have the ability to adjust it a little bit to be able to get 2 people in that shot if need be. This shot that you're seeing right now is a shot of myself, but if I wasn't in the shot, right, if I wasn't sitting here, then you would actually be able to see the entire setup, the full shot of all myself, my co-host, and of course, the guest or guests that are in the studio. How am I getting all this connected into my system? I'm getting it connected in by using, of course, for audio, that middle logo or middle graphic that you see there, which is the Rodecaster Pro. Now, I have the first version, which is very hard to find now. The second version will do just fine, but I just happen to have the first version, and all 4 of those microphones are connected into it, and then it is connected into my Mac Mini. How I'm getting the cameras connected in, I'm not using a A10 Mini. I'm not connecting all those cameras directly to my computer. I'm using the DeckLink card, the 4K DeckLink quad card from Blackmagic, and then I put that into a Sonnet Echo enclosure, which is then connected USB-C to my Mac Mini. And then I have access to all of those cameras and I can record at 4K. So if you want any of any of the gear mentioned, you can just go to the link that's on the screen right now. Second section is to talk through how to capture the audio and video. Now, you could do this by just recording directly to camera, but that I have found to be a much too difficult process. So what I've done is utilize a product called Ecamm Live, and I'm using it to record this video right now too. So I'm in Ecamm Live. I open up my camera switcher and it shows me all the cameras that I have created in all sources. But if you go to AB, you get to create or assign what those cameras are. And so here I have assigned camera A, And I'm just going to open that up to show it to you. And that you can see is my seat for the host, right? So it says camera A there. You can switch this up. So this, you got to make sure you assign the camera you want. So camera B is the camera for the co-host. And you can see what that looks like there. That's the camera for the co-host. I'm just moving my chair out of the shot. And the camera for the co-host is there as camera B. And then you also have camera C. Let's open that up. And you can see that that is the camera for the guest. And you can see what that looks like. Again, we can have two microphones there. We can actually have two guests there if we'd like. Now, I'm going to also show this other camera, which is the shot that I'm sitting in right now. And you'll notice that right at the bottom, there is no desk. You can't see the desk. And the reason for that is because in this shot, I have actually zoomed in. So I'm going to go and open up camera effects, and you can see that I've got my zoom set to number 10, right? The zoom is set to 10. And then you can adjust your colors and all that stuff in camera effects. Not necessarily something you must do, but I just wanted to show you that when I'm recording for YouTube, you can see the desk, but when I'm recording for the podcast, I have it set to where you're not seeing the desk. So those are the four cameras that are set. There's three cameras that are set up, A, B, and C, and then the fourth camera I use as program. Let me show you how I do that. We go into preferences by hitting the wheel, and then this is your Ecamm Live preferences, and you go into the recording tab, and you notice that I have not only record isolated video tracks, but all four camera A, B, and C, I should say, is selected. And so A, B, C gives me host, co-host, and guest. But then you might ask, how in the world do you get the other one? I'll show you that in a second. Now notice when I uncheck camera A, that recording icon goes away from the camera switcher. So you do have a visual indicator of what is being recorded. So that's good for you to be able to make sure that you're actually recording everything. And then from there, you can be able to get the main camera by recording that into the program view. So I'm going to pause the video, but this is the view that would be. So it would be this camera here that you're seeing that I'm highlighting right now with the three of us. And then you'd also have A, B, and C. So you get the main program view as a recording. Then you get the three cameras as a recording. And that's how I get my four cameras that I then would take and quickly do an edit. And I'll show you that in the next segment. But that's essentially what that looks like, and that is exactly where we want to land. Ecamm Live, again, as I mentioned, is the product that I use to record, getting all four of those of streams of camera content, recording it all onto my hard drive, and then it's immediately ready to edit. And sometimes I edit it, sometimes my editor does, other times my son does, but I want to show you that in just a second. If you want to check out Ecamm Live, again, that link is on the screen, and we'll make sure that we have these in the description for you to be able to utilize. Really dope setup, and I use it for everything. In fact, I'm using it to record this video right now with no editing. The next thing I want to show you, this is segment number 3, and that's the simple video edit process. And for that, I'm going to take you over to DaVinci Resolve, and that's where we're looking at right now. When you record in Ecamm, I'm going to go to import media here. I want you to see that. I'm just right clicking in my media pool. I'm going to import media. I'm going to click on that, and it's going to give me my Finder window. When you record in Ecamm Live, you'll get a folder. The way that we just showed recording, you'll see that this is a recording. And in this folder, you have camera A, as we showed before, camera A, B, C, and then you also have the program view, which is the view that I use for all of the guests. So you have all those there. Then you also get the main mic. So you have that separate. And that's all of the feeds from the Rodecaster Pro. If you want to get those feeds in as isolated, then you just simply turn on that setting in your Rodecaster Pro. This is how it shows up. You get a folder, you get all your files inside that folder. I'm simply going to grab those files, open it into DaVinci Resolve, highlight those videos, and go to the top, right click and go to the top option, the second from the top, and it says create new multicam clip using selected clips. I select that. May give it a name. I'm just going to leave this as default for now. That's okay. So create. Now it puts all of those clips inside this original clips folder, and then it gives me the camera A icon here as well. So now I'm going to drag this camera A onto my timeline, and once it's here, I can go up, turn off the inspector, right? And then I can select here in the bottom section multicam. When I select multicam, I can go forward a little bit here to where we're getting ready to start. And then I can just, you can see that this has become a blade. And so I'm going to just click on the one that I'd like, and then get rid of this other section so that I'm ready to go. The other thing that you can do here is right here in the middle, you'll see that you have these three options. You can choose to cut with video and audio, or you can just cut video. And that's the way I like to do it. I like to cut video. And so now it's just a matter of watching the podcast itself and actually making the recording. So let's see here. There we go. Boom. And so you would just hit the B button, cut here, get rid of that section. And again, this is where the podcast is supposed to begin. I think it is. I think I'm off there. Maybe it begins here. Here we go. It took us a while to get it started. So right here is where the podcast begins. So I would just chop this part off here. And then for the rest of the time, I could use the L key to hit play. And then I also hit L again to make it a little faster. Then I can just click here to cut to myself. I can cut here to show him nodding his head, click back to me. This is a very fast edit that I'm able to do. And again, it's just a matter of clicking through to the different camera angles, and that becomes my podcast. So I'm just clicking through here a little bit longer, a little bit more for you to be able to see what that looks like. Again, come back to here, back to the guest, and back to the main shot. You have the ability to do whatever you want. And if I come back, just so you can kind of get a little bit of a review, now you can see that these cuts are already done and ready to go. I want to be clear, y'all. I haven't done much of anything except import all 4 of those video files, make it into a multicam clip, and then just cut to the angle that I want. Very simple, straightforward process. And once I've watched this, it's basically me watching through the video one time. I now have all the cuts the way that I want them, and I can export the video and it's ready to go. So definitely something to keep in mind. DaVinci Resolve, in fact, the version I'm using is actually free, but there is another tier to it. So, I highly recommend that you get that tier if you really want to, dive deep into your production. But I'm not doing a whole lot of editing, so you can do all the functions and features that I just showed with the free plan. Definitely hit that up. And if you are using a different platform, maybe there's another way to do it. Just search for multicam clip editing for the whatever platform that you are using. I did promise that we were going to give you a bonus, and that bonus is dealing with post-production and the publish process, post-production and the publish process. And for that, I use a product called Taja, TAJA.ai. And so here what you're seeing is the latest episode, one of the more later episodes from the podcast. And you can see that's given me a title. After it looks at the video, it gives me the title, it gives me the chapters, it gives me tags, it gives me a full transcript of the video, which I can then take and put it in another AI platform to do other things with. But in addition, it does give me repurposed content as well. And so here it says I found 12 clips. And so from here, I'm able to pull any of these clips down share them on YouTube as a short or on Instagram and Facebook as Reels. I'm able to kind of clip them up as well. You can also do, so those are vertical clips. You can also do a longer horizontal clips, and it even gives you some content for blog posts and for, you know, X threads. So Taja.ai, that's the little bonus that I wanted to share with you for you to be able to sink your teeth into that. Again, kirkarnugent.live/Taja is my affiliate link. It doesn't charge you anymore, but if you do use that link, I will be given some credit. And so that is my little bonus that I wanted to share with you for watching all the way through the video. I will say that in the comment section, I would love for you to engage. I would love for you to drop something in there. Let me know how you produce your podcast, or if you have any questions about my setup, my process, and my tools. I gotta say, I'm always sharing tips, tricks, and best practices in the replies to the video comments here on YouTube, but I can provide much more assistance in my community on School. So visit kirkarnugent.live/school, which is spelled SKOOL, today to gain access. All links will be in the description and first comment. If you're looking for more production tutorials, I've created this playlist just for you, and you can click right here to watch, and I will see you over there. Grace and peace, fam. Make it a great one.